South End, San Antonio, Texas. We did get the announcement from ArenaNet, the guys behind Guild Wars 2, has now announced their latest expansion to Guild Wars 2, especially. This is going to be Guild Wars 2 Heart of the Thorns expansion pack. Going to include whole new zone areas. Going to be focusing on the jungle area, the Magjana area. I can pronounce that right.
Watch your mouth.
Watch your mouth, son. Unfortunately. So this is going to include new areas, new items, a new way of travel. They're adding in hang gliders for your characters, a new profession as well to add into theirs to the game as well. They are going to be having a playable version of the content at PAX East this year in Boston, so those who are attending it can be able to play a little bit of that as well. I look forward to enjoying that. For a game that came out in 2008, now they're releasing a new expansion for it. I'll do it. Guild Wars 2 is actually a pretty decent, MMO for, hey, it's like, I really want to play an MMO like, let's say World of Warcraft, because it's the easiest one to point out to, but I don't want to shell out $15 a month. Okay, Guild Wars, here you go. So, hey, more stuff, more power to it, just more content to the game as well. And see how that goes. As well as getting off the MMO news, we'll stick with that. This past weekend, actually, we just had a Guinness World Record actually beaten this year in the video game world. PlanetSide 2 just beat the Guinness World Record for having the most players involved in a first-person shooter battle all at the same time.
Okay.
And to having that battle that they just received on hand, they had 1,158 players playing at one time against in one battle. And the internet's probably going right now saying, wow, that's a lot of virgins. But still, for a game to have over 1,000 players competing in one battle, it's still pretty, technical marvel if you think about it.
A lot of terrorists somewhere saying, that's a lot to be given to me after this bombing.
I just got that one, yeah. But yeah, still, they're actually pretty nice. Originally, it was held, I think, back in like 1990 with like a browser-based
Mario
game.
Party 1.
No. Oh god, don't try Burger Mario. Oh god.
Yeah.
That's a harder mod to do. But yeah, that's actually pretty interesting to see that they're able to get up that far, especially technology, if they have the mega servers to do it. And the news nobody expected to come out, but as well we just found out the internet sensation, and I use that with air quotes, especially for YouTube, and Scaretacular, Five Nights at Freddy's 3 was just announced, unfortunately. This is the scare tactic. Yeah, basically. Five Nights at Freddy's, for those who don't know, is a jump scare game made famous by the lovely YouTubers out there who like to do face cam play the game. And you basically play as a security guard which is essentially a Chuck E. Cheese, and your job is to survive the night because the animatronics are trying to get you.
Sounds like a new synopsis for Adam Sandler's Paul Blart 3.
Pretty close to it as well.
As long as the cop gets it in the end this time. The first one was horrible enough.
Well, they're making this. They had the second one.
That's sad.
This year.
Yeah, if they try to get you in the end. Yeah, it's basically, yeah.
Okay.
They try to put you in a tally thing. Yeah. So 5 Nights at Freddy's try to do that jump scare where you're trying to, control. You have only limited source of power, and you have to keep looking at your laptop to see where the animatronics are, if they're wandering around the hallways, make sure they don't get to you. So.
Is it like a Chuck E. Cheese, or is it?
They call it They call it like Freddy Fazbender's or something like that, but it is like the entire setup.
Is that Michael's brother?
Yeah.
But if
I bet he does full nudity.
No,
full rat nudity.
But if you look at it, it basically is like the level in the area setup is basically a Chuck E. Cheese. So. And let's just be honest, I guess, again, people out there like to play these games. They like to have the jump scare and get that adrenaline rush. But the first Five Nights at Freddy's was released in August 2014. We're now being released the third one in the span of how many months? God. Yeah.
Not a lot of replay value there.
Yeah. I mean, you go through it once, and you're like, okay, we get it. We get the jump scares. I mean, it's there. But, yeah. So the trailer's out there if you want to go see it and see it on YouTube.
We can put it on the webpage. Why not?
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, it first it showed up on Steam Greenlight, and I believe it's already gone through already, so it passed instantly. So yeah, you got that as well.
Okay.
As well, released this week, we had Borderlands pre-sequel did announce and released a new character for their season pass. This is Lady Hammerlock, the Baroness. This is also supposed to be the sister of Sir Hammerlock in the game. Excuse me there. basically is a rich baroness and spoiled rich character as to her style to play in the Borderlands universe. Her skills will rely on especially having a contract with another character and a little bit more integration, teamwork there, as well as her activated ability is a little bit. It's interesting. It's more just like it's kind of set and forget almost. You send out like a little. I don't want to say diamond dust, but like ice particles, and like it revolves a lot on freezing your enemies kind of ability. She's interesting to use. I haven't played with her too much. Hey, I don't deal with spoiled rich bitches.
She's an ice lady.
But at least this is good for those who have Borderlands pre-sequel and bought the season pass, because originally 2K Australia was like, well, we just released, the doppelganger with Jack and the Holodome, basically wave-based survival. So that's all it for the season pass. But Borderlands 2 had like 2 characters and like 4 different sagas, and you're just giving us a character. Yeah, we're done. Like, no, dude, keep up with it. So you get another character at least. So thank God, at least put a little bit more, content to the actual season pass. So good for that to play. We did also find out with the upcoming releases, especially with a couple of movies coming in this week, this summertime. Are you ready for more Lego games? That's all I can really say.
I mean, yeah.
James is like, I know, but
Is it another Avengers or Batman? Okay.
you got 2 right. Well, you already called out 2 of them. Yeah, so we did find out that they're going to be releasing a Lego's Avengers slated for June, probably focused around the movie coming up, centered
Probably
around
like
the
right
universe.
before it comes out.
Exactly. We also do get the Batman Beyond Gotham is going to be coming. The mobile version of that will be coming in the summer as well.
Okay.
We did also find out there will be a Jurassic World Lego game in June as well. And also coming up March 24th, Ninjago, their Shadow Ronin, which is based off their ninja style one that they have TV series. So this is coming from Telltale, not Telltale, Traveler's Tales, the guys who did the original, obviously all this Lego games. So it's them again. So more Lego games down the line, just to let you guys out there. Finally, I want to wrap up on one last bit of news, especially this week, is Nintendo did announce this week they're going to be changing their YouTube policy involving ad sharing and ad revenue with content creators. Now, originally back in like 2013, I think it was, they kind of did a blatant just like copyright automated system to check content creators and anything that was uploaded, see anything that would have their content, Nintendo content in there, basically just blanket copyright, claims that across the board, which caused a lot of issues and ultimately could screw over YouTubers that focus primarily on Nintendo games, because it's basically saying, oh, that nice, Let's Play you did. Yeah, we own all that because that's our game. All those videos you made, yeah. And it caused a lot of uproar and issues. And luckily, a lot of people who are a little bit more prominent in the YouTuber, community there that are able to work with networks and get that all straightened out, have been able to work out deals and get it worked out. This new policy that's going to be taking effect apparently May 27th is the Nintendo Creators Program. Apparently 60% of the ad revenues generated from registered users will be given to the creators. You will be given 70% instead if the channel is dedicated exclusively to Nintendo content. And also apparently payments will be made 2 months after viewing numbers are calculated and paid via PayPal. Now that's a big issue, I imagine, for people who especially use YouTube as, their source of income. If they are YouTubers, getting paid 2 months later after your work has been calculated out. Now, again, I'm not one myself, so I don't know exactly when people do actually get paid, from YouTubers actually get their revenue, but especially what I've heard, what I've read and researched from listening to other people and listen to other podcasts of YouTubers and hear what they do. Like within that first few days is where you're going to make the bulk of your money from ads. Whenever you post up a video within the first 2 days is where you're going to make the bulk of your ad revenue, especially. And especially when it comes to copyright claims, usually within that time frame, if a company finds it, wants a copyright claim it, they usually do it within that time span. So all the ad revenue is now going to that company. You as a YouTuber are not getting it. From there, you can, of course, send back a challenge and saying, no, this is my, right under these certain laws. Obviously, fair use is one thing you bring up. And you're basically calling their bluff. They're saying, originally they sent the copyright strike saying, this is our content. If you try and challenge this, we can take you to court. And you basically can send back saying, no, this is under free use, and do that back. From there, they have a certain amount of time to either respond to it and get back to you, or they can just get a straight, takedown notice and possibly take you to court. Now, of course, within that time span frame that they can literally, if you send back that challenge to them, they can just sit on it for, I forget the amount of days, I want to say 6 or something like that. I could be wrong. But the amount of time that they have that, during that time, you're not generating any money. That money that ad revenue is sent straight to the company who's being challenged. So if you do actually finally get back, claim of that thing, you have lost all that revenue. So Cena is very apropos, thank you.
Damn it.
So yeah, seeing that Nintendo's like, yeah, we'll give you the money, but you only get 60%. We still get part. And again, that it's an ongoing debate, unfortunately, right now going on is where does content creation fall into effect when it comes to YouTube videos, especially Let's Plays.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to something like that, you look at the game that's being played was made by, let's say, Nintendo as the example. But the performance of the player, the experience, the information being provided, their commentary, that all relates to the commentator. It's their work right there. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they're using their game. So where do you fall in regards to who actually has ownership of it? And that's the sad thing.
But what about other companies such as Microsoft or Sony? What are their thoughts on this?
What are their thoughts?
Obviously, a lot more people play those kind of games than buy Nintendo.
Depending on which company it is and what it comes down to, and I know I'm being very boring over here. I'm sorry, James, but a lot it comes down to is what the
come back,
company's,
James, join us.
I'm still here.
The company's preference on how they look at YouTube is some look at it as saying, oh, this is an opportunity to get exposure of a game. Some people see this as, hey, this could be free PR if you really think about it. Some companies, especially like EA, has been known to, and Microsoft especially, have been known to sponsor YouTubers by having sponsorship programs. Now, mind you, that means it's a paid event or something that you submit a video and they have to put on a disclaimer saying this is a paid promotional deal done with EA or Microsoft, but the video content, so take whatever you have within the video content with a grain of salt, but we're going to play it because we're getting paid to play it, basically. Mm-hmm. They can do that. Or especially a lot of issues YouTubers have is with the Japanese company, especially just the Japanese headquarters. Time.
No, I got those people.
So Nintendo, Konami, Capcom, especially too.
Again. To me, it almost just boils down to the fact of a company that's failing so much, they're doing their damnedest to just try get any penny they can.
Yeah,
exactly.
Does this almost go into not Angry Birds?
Candy Crush.
not Candy Crush.
Flappy Bird.
Flappy Bird. Thank you.
And
you're so Flappy Birds.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he made so much money off that. Let's be honest.
I don't feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
But it's Nintendo and the big name companies will try and they want to get revenue because they're like, well, that's our product. We made it, and somebody else is making money off of it. Let's try and and they want to control it. Is what they want to do. They want to control the content.
So what are they going to go after Disney for Wreck-It Ralph for using Bowser in there?
No. That's licensed out. It's because they went through the legal system. This is technically, they see it as, especially in Japan, they see this as not legal, and this is they're basically making profit off of their product. Now, I'm sorry, but I bought the game, so what I do is my own thing. But again, a lot of people can look at the law and say well, this would be classified under, I think it's transient performance almost clause, and that's under.
I was going to say one thing that maybe might relate to it is when if you use a song on podcast even or whatever, and you don't have the rights to it, and then they can go after you.
True.
Too.
You have to fall within the law, especially we're lucky that we have the idea of the Fair Use Act. Okay. And going under that. The same thing comes in regards to how do critics use video in that content. You look at the same regards. If they're able to do a video critique of a game and show a video review, they are allowed to use that content because it's under press release and it's used for information.
Right.
You could do the same thing, especially with video games. You're commentating on the game. You're commentating on your performance, on little tidbits you find. And at the same time, you're also informing the audience. So at the same time, you're in the same regard. So it's like, why, go after me when you have critics doing the same thing?
Yeah.
So
because they're the little guy, and you can just
it's a little guy, so big company can just kind of squish on him. Unfortunately, so
they don't care about us Americans.
The thing is, a lot of American companies, and especially the indie guys, they're like, yeah, YouTube, we will work